Right folks, I'm here at my final destination now. Been a bit of a walk here, so I don't think many people will fish yet. I'm just looking at the peg I want to fish. There's a big tree falling in, so there's another one just up a bit. Just gotta go up and have a look at that, see if it's any good. Might try that peg and move up here. Well, I got a few hours pike fishing again. See, this peg looks good here. This is probably the official peg. A few reed beds and stuff. Always look out for features. Yeah, it's looks quite good here. Nice banking to get to. Bit of a tree cover. I don't look like many people fish here, to be honest. It's a bit of a walk, so. And what I'll do is I'll try down there and might have a couple of hours up here. Might as well have a go down here. It's not far to walk. A couple of minutes walk back. Never been here before, so I think you're probably allowed to fish in this coppice thing. As you can see, there's a big branch there in the water, so if I get anything big on, I'm just going to have to try to keep it away from there. Don't want to be struggling getting fish out here. Right, so I'll get my rod set up. Right, before I put my trace on, I'm just going to have a bit of a feel about on the bottom. I've got the depth from the last time I went, see if it's somewhere near. It's similar depth to the last place I fished. Just dragging it along the bottom, see if there's any snags here. You don't want to be snagging at branches. If you see where the float is now, it's a good spot right down the edge there. Can't feel any snags. Lots of silt. And we'll just try a bit further out. I'll probably put one further out and one in the edge. There, it's just, if you can see that, it's just under depth, should I say. I don't know how deep it is out there. It's on the bottom now there, you can see the float stuck up a bit. So I reckon if I put a foot on that, I can fish gross swims with that. I'll put a foot on, get trace on and get some bait in. What I'm going to use today, I think I'm going to use smelt and maybe lamprey. Right, so I've got my net set up. Found a reasonable place to unhook the fish if I catch anything. And I've got my smelt on. Just have to get this rod in first while I'm setting the other rod up. So I had the ledger on last time. And what I'm going to do with this one is, I'm just going to chuck it down the edge there. I'll set the other rod up and fish directly in front of her. Keeping away from this big snag. It's a bit over depth there. But they're really barely moving at this point. Well, it should get a good bite indication. And float's in now with the bait on. Let's see what we get. It looks pikey, but because I've never been here before, you can't be 100% sure if it's any good. It might be an odd one, or there might be loads. It looks like it could hold some good fish here. So get that in, you can see the silt coming up off the bottom, bubbles. So it's very, very muddy on the bottom. Like the other rivers we fish are quite sandy. So if I see anything rummaging about, a big pike or anything, I'll probably see it once the water's settled a bit. Right, I'll get my other rod set up. Need to put a float on it, and then I'll fish directly in front of me with that one. Keeping an eye on that all the time. You know, it's an unknown when you come to a new water, a new stretch. But it is pikey, big bubbles come up then. I think that's just where the lead or the bait's probably sinking into the mud. Right, I'm going to go with another smelt, mate. It's very cold this morning and the other baits haven't defrosted yet enough to separate them. Got some old lamprey and they're being used once, so I'm not too keen on using baits twice, but they do work. Still plenty of blood in. And another one on, and I'm going to do is fish straight out in front of me with this one. There's loads of activity at the edge here, bubbles and stuff where the float is, but it's not a pike. I'd have had some signs on the float. It's probably gas where I've been, seen how deep it was, and it just churned all the bottom up. So I might, don't know if you can see it, I might fish on the end of the tree. Again, don't fish too past it too much. You get a bigger one, you go straight into the tree. I'll probably fish in front of it towards me this way. Get this one in the middle-ish. A beautiful place. I fished further down on this river, but never fished this far up. And there are pike in here. I've heard all the match guys get bothered with pike, so there's always a good chance. And you can see it's barely moving the water. Well, it's not moving at all, it's like fishing a mill pond. And let's see if we can get one before I put any oils on or anything. The perfect spot, as you can see at the side of me where the other peg is further up. Loads of debris, and there'll be some under there. So you probably have to fish upstream for them, draw them into the scent. And I'll give it probably half a day here. We've probably got 5 hours. I'll give it half a day here, maybe a bit longer, see how it goes. Got a big area to cover, so you can draw lots of fish in. And it's just when you're on a new water, it's just a thing of just getting a bite, knowing they're there, and you can come back then. If you don't get a bite, it doesn't mean say they're not here. There could be some really good ones in. It looks good. I'd bet my money on it. There's some pike in here. If I catch one is another matter. So I think the next update will be if I actually catch one or don't, or move pegs. I think I've just fished down from this point here. Quite nice here. I can see all that debris there. Usually attracts a few fish, that. The tree above me, some trees at the other side. Little weed bed there. There'll probably be some fish about there. Don't know if there'll be any pike. Get the rest of the gear. Get the rods in. I'll have a think about what bait I'm putting on as well then. I'll keep the smell on, I think. Looks like something moved out there. Got to be aware there's a tree above me. A beautiful stretch of water. Looks a good peg further up as well, but I don't think I've got enough time to move and get one down there. It should be the same depth. And now it's deeper here, which is probably a good sign. It just shows, isn't it, going a few not far up. It's a lot deeper. It's probably where it's hitting the edge here. And it's in flood, taking the silt away. Not as much as that bubbly. Feel a bit more confident here. That one in. Get this floor set, bait runner on. And I'm going to have a check of this plant. It looks a bit Bit rubbish, to be honest. A big roach that. Might have to have a think about, you know, just to get a little jack or something, put small bait on. Looks perfect here. Look at that, what a river. Leaving this direct grass downside here, there could be something down there. A lot of time salmon and pike on rivers is it's closer in than you think. Right, I think I'm getting a bite. I don't know if you can see it. I just put a smolt on. Something hit the floor then. It's I'm not sure if it's pike. Could be out in here. It's not there now. Could be an eel or something. Could have been a bit of debris under the water hitting the float or the line. It did look like a fish. Just twitched a little bit again then. It could be a pike swimming around the float and it's hit the line. And it seems to have gone away. They're normally pike, they don't normally go away. And it's a salmon smolt I've got on. And there's no happening now. The other fish are, you know, there's a bit of oil in these fish. And other fish can be interested, like barbel and stuff, bream. Might just push into the thing, or even a big perch. That seems to have gone away. It could be still there, pike, just looking at the bait and nudging it. And it's the first indication I've had. And sometimes you get these twitches, and it can take up to 20 minutes for them to take them. And I'll sit back down, just keep an eye on it. I don't know what it is. It must be, if it's a pike, it's a small one. Yeah, I'm always wrong. Definitely a fish on that now. I think probably a strike on it. I think it's probably a small one. It's a fish. It is. I knew it's coming in to the edge. Yeah, it's micro. I'm happy with it. Sometimes the big fish do that as well. You know, they're a bit more wary of the bigger ones. It's only a couple of pounds, if that. It's a fish. Got my bait back as well. Nice little jack. Better than nothing. No, we're going to do it in the water, but it's quiet. So I did at the edge. Only got one hook in it. Something that big as had it. unhooking it. Keeping an eye on the other one as well now, because I think they probably are closer in. And a small jack. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. The net's tangled up a bit. I'm going to put it in by hand, this one. Something's had it there. Off it goes, unharmed. I'm going to do that with a bigger one, bring it in. Off the mark. Not the monster I wanted, but it's a fish. What a beautiful data fish. I've just put that jack back, but what I did do to catch that jack was I mean, it'd only been in 10 minutes. I put a salmon smolt on. They're full of oil, these fish, and they're really good baits when we use them. And they're pretty small, so you gotta pick small jacks up, but you will pick a bigger fish up. And what I might do is I might change the smelt over. So I haven't had a bite on that yet. And it's been in probably 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Nothing, but that had been in 10 minutes before. I got a bit of interest. And it was swimming around it for a while. I could tell, you know, we're getting twitches. And it picked the bait up and took it. Oh, it's a small fish, probably £2. But it's better than nothing when you're not catching. And at least I know there's some in here now. So I might just swap over to that. And, you know, this river contains a lot of coarse fish, but they are grayling, and you get the salmon coming up here and trout. So I think I'm going to try that for the last probably hour. If I don't get another bite, I think I've got about 2.5 hours left. Get salmon smelt on. Good fish, good baits them. A lot of people don't use them, but we've been catching quite a few on them. So I'll give them a go if you're not catching. Right, put the salmon smolt on the other rod. I just had a massive knock. Well, it's gone again. So I think they're just small jacks. You see it twitching now. It's picking it up. And it's probably picked it up in its mouth now. I'll probably have to strike now. You never know what you're going to get, but it seems like it's going to be a small one again. I'll give it a bit of time to take it. Feels a bit bigger than the other one, but pulling back a bit. When they pull back a bit like that, it's when they're lightly hooked. So it could. Yeah, it's a bit bigger, not much. But it's a fish. Yeah, it's on that salmon smolt again. It's strange. Just shows changing baits. Yeah, it's a bit bigger than the other. Not much bigger. Might be £4, £3 that. Yeah, in the net's not fighting much. I'll take it up and unlock it. Oh well, it's come out. I'll put this one back. No point taking it up to the mat when there's no one here. You can see the hooks have come out. And it's got a bite mark in it for something. It could be an otter. But I'll get it back. It's only a small one. I'll take it out the net here. I've got my bait back as well. But it just shows got a bit of a mark on it. But not in its mouth. I'll have to drop it in a little bit. Get back in. Well, that's 2 now on the salmon smolt. I changed it 5 minutes ago and it stuck it. So it's showing I'm going for these smelly baits. Might be muckier than it looks, the water. Deep down. Got my bait back and all. I've only got these two on now. It's destroyed the bait. I'm going to put it back on. I've caught it on 2 pieces, you know, when they're being destroyed. It's proper munched out. It's all these oils, these smolts. So much oil in them. They're a good bait and a bit smaller, you know, a bit more manageable for the small pike. Which might have second thoughts about taking a big bait. I was just on the phone to Brent, arranging where to go tomorrow. It's literally been on that smolt 5 minutes before I got a bite. And I've had smelt on for 4 hours, nothing. It might be a case of just gone on the feed now. I'll get that there. There's no happening with the other one, so I'm going to move that upstream a bit or a bit further out. They are destroyed a bit, the baits. Like I said, I've had just put bits of fish on when I run out of bait sometimes on each hook. I've caught when they're on the feed. I'll get this one a bit further out. A bit of a drop off. It's actually quite deep close in here. Right. See if I can get another one out on them. Right, that's it from me. I've got about 10 minutes left before it gets dark, so I'm going to do the outro now. Been a good day, new water. You know, the change of bait, produced 2 small jacks. Nothing special, but the fish, I don't mind what I catch, as long as I'm getting bites sometime. Because you get that bite, you don't know what's going to be on the end. Pike fishing could be anything. So, it's been a good day, beautiful place. I'll come back here, I think, try again. Maybe with Tom and Brent. So, we'll see you next time.